Okay, chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called A Grisly Discovery. And this word, grisly, it's not the kind of bear. It's grisly means maybe kind of a gross or maybe a little bit scary discovery. So we'll have to find out what that is. The brothers ran into the woods, following their dog's barks. They ducked under branches, climbing over rocks and rotted tree stumps. "I think I see them, over there," Jeff cried. He pointed to a cluster of aspen trees. "Tessie," they called. "Rascal!" But the dogs did not come. Soon the boys arrived in a small clearing surrounded by trees and bushes. To their relief, they found Rascal there. He was digging furiously with his front paws. Dirt sprayed behind him. As terriers like to do, he was shoving his nose into a hole as if sniffing out a tiny animal. He was too busy to notice the brothers. And then they spotted Tessie. She was sitting in the shade watching Rascal. Although she was old and plump, she still liked to retrieve things. Upon seeing the boys, she wagged her tail and came toward them. Something was in her mouth. "Drop it," Jeff said. Tessie dropped the object. It looked like a dirty sock with holes in it. "What is that?" asked David. Jeff leaned over for a closer look. He stared. "Is this what I think it is?" David found a twig and pushed at it. Yuck! They stared and poked. Clumps of dirt fell away, revealing not a sock, but a foot, with some of the ankle bones attached. It was bony white, the flesh long gone. It was so old it looked as if it would crumble with one touch. "Is it a bear's?" David asked. There was rustling in the trees behind them. Jeff flinched and turned. He felt as if someone were watching them. In a whisper, he said, "I think it's from a person. Looks exactly like that skeleton in the Science Museum." The brothers gave each other a worried glance. They had been hoping to find something about the legend, but they hadn't expected human bones. "What if this is a clue to what happened out here?" Jeff asked. "Looks like a murder to me," said David. For several minutes they examined the foot. Then they kicked through Rascal's dirt pile to see if there was any other evidence. Finally, Jeff pulled the small shovel from his pack and snapped the handle in place. "You can use this, David. I have a tin cup." "We better dig a deeper hole for it." He nodded toward the foot. "You mean bury it?" "Yeah, it might be an important clue. We can make sure it stays a secret if we leave it here." "But why? Let's take it home so we can keep looking at it. I think it's cool." Jeff gave his brother a long look. "David, don't forget about Claire. If she sees it, she'll start asking questions." "Oh yeah, I almost forgot." Claire Posey was their 9-year-old cousin whose cabin was near theirs just across the creek. Her parents, the boys' Aunt Lily and Uncle Wyatt, owned the Western Cafe in town. Whenever they had a day off, the family spent time together. So today the Poseys were at the fairgrounds watching the rodeo. Knowing Claire would be gone until evening was another reason why the brothers had chosen this day to visit Lost Island. Even though she was their good friend and favorite cousin, they did not want her to tag along. Not yet, anyway. And it wasn't because she was a girl. It was just that Jeff and David were not used to Yum Yum, her new white poodle. Last month, Claire had gotten her from the pound. Now, wherever she went, so did Yum Yum, wearing a collar with bells. With every step, Yum Yum sounded like a wind-up toy. The boys thought the poodle was entirely too noisy to go exploring. They wanted to be as quiet in the woods as their dad had taught them to be. "Okay," David agreed. "Let's dig that hole. Otherwise, Claire will report to Aunt Lily and Uncle Wyatt, and then they'll tell Mom," Jeff finished.